Hello and welcome back to Sci-Fi Tech. In this video, I'm going to show you how to make a very simple speaker. Let's get started. And these are the items that you're going to need to make for this project. The items you're going to need is some 28 gauge insulated copper wire, neodymium magnet, and some paper. Now, let's go ahead and assemble this project and let's get started. First, let's start with the paper. I'm going to take this piece of paper here and fold it in half, lengthwise. Make sure it's nice and even. And now fold it again. And then fold it again. Next, I'm going to tightly roll it up into a cylinder. And now unwind it and clamp the edges together, and this will be my perimeter side. Now I'm going to take the second piece of paper, fold it, fold it again, and now I'm going to go and put some glue on these corners. I want this piece of paper to be nice and thick because this will be the base of the speaker. Next, I'm going to take some hot glue and close the cylinder together. Next, I'm going to take some hot glue and put it on the perimeter of the cylinder so that way I can glue it down into place. Glue it into place just like this. Next, I'm going to measure the diameter of the cylinder. And as I can see, it's about 8 centimeters or 7.5 centimeters. Next, I'm going to take a compass that'll measure the radius of the cylinder, which is half of the diameter. And this right here is about a little over 4 centimeters, which is about 4.3 centimeters. And now I'm going to make a simple circle. Next, I'm going to take these scissors and cut out the circle. And there, I have a circle. And it fits perfectly on top of the cylinder. Now, that little dot right there is the center of the circle, so I'm going to go and cut a radius. Cut from the side straight to the middle, just like that. And now push those two edges together to fold it so that way it can turn into a cone. Just like that. Now I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue onto this circle. Fold the edges so then that way it can form a cone. And still using the same sheet of paper to not waste it, I'm going to go and take this neodymium magnet and I'm going to go and take this edge of this paper and roll it out. There we go. This is where the edge of the paper meets the other piece of paper. Make a little mark. And I'm going to go and cut out about 5 centimeters going this direction. Take a measurement just like this so that way everything's accurate. And there, I have a rectangle. Now I'm going to go ahead and cut out this rectangle. And there, I have a rectangle. And I'm going to use the same piece of paper and fold it. Just like this. And now I'm going to take the rectangle, place it right here, make a little mark, and cut out this piece of folded paper. This folded paper will wrap around the magnet, so that way I can have a little space to put onto the rectangle, so that way I can turn the rectangle into a cylinder, and that cylinder will be what will slide up and down on the magnet. So I'm going to glue this first piece of paper onto the magnet first. Take this cylinder here, take this rectangle and turn it into a cylinder. Put a dab of hot glue, just like that. Carefully make sure it's nice and even. And glue it together. And now I can go ahead and glue the rest of the cylinder. Push the magnet out. Remove the first paper and some of the hot glue that's stuck to the magnet. And there, as you can see, the cylinder can now slide easily past the magnet. Next, I'm going to take the insulated copper wire, give a little bit of slack, glue it directly to the cylinder. And now I'm going to take this insulated wire and wind it around the cylinder approximately 55 times. And every winding, just put a little dab of hot glue so that way the wire doesn't unspool. Wrap it around just like this, cut off the other end to give it a little bit of slack, and there, about 55 windings around the cylinder. And there you have it. Now the cylinder is ready to be able to create the magnetic field around the magnet and allow it to bounce up and down, so that way it can be able to create the sound waves. Make some adjustments of the wire, cut off some of the excess paper, because I want to make sure the windings stay very close to the magnet. And there, it is now ready. Make a quick test, and as you can see, it slides past the magnet. Perfect. Next, I need to figure out where the center of the cylinder is. The cylinder is not very even, so I'm going to take this ruler and find the average center. Right there is the center. And now put a generous amount of hot glue on the center, just like this. And take the neodymium magnet and place it on the center, just like that. And just before the glue solidifies, I'm going to take something that's non-magnetic and remove some of the excess glue. There we go, just like that. Take this plastic spatula and scrape off more of the glue, and there, free of glue. Next, I'm going to take the cylinder, which is basically now an inductor, and I'm going to place it over the magnet, just like that. Push it down, and take the cone and place it on top. As you can see, it's a little bit too long, so what I want to do is I want to cut that cylinder to make it a little bit shorter, so that way the cone can fit around the base of the cylinder. Cut off the excess, just like that. Place it back over the magnet, and place the cone right on top of the cylinder. Make it a little shorter, and there, it's just right. Make it nice and even. Perfect. Place the cone on top, and there, it is now ready to be glued into place. And before I do that, I want to take these wires and slide it underneath the cylinder. Glue the wires down so they don't move. Take the cone and place it on top of the cylinder by putting a little bit of hot glue on top of the cylinder right here. Place the cone on top, and there, it is now glued into place. And there you have it, I just made a simple speaker out of paper. Next, I'm going to take a lighter and burn off the insulation that is on this wire. Burn it off just like this. Take my knife and scrape off the burnt part to remove and expose the wire. And there you have it, it is now complete. Let's go ahead and test it out. Okay, now I'm just going to make a little test to make sure there's connection in these wires. Take a 9-volt battery and you should be able to hear some scratching sounds. Perfect, that works. Now let's go ahead and test it with some music. And to those of you who are wondering, how many ohms does this speaker have? And since it's basically an inductor, how many henries does this have? So I have my tester right here. And as you can see, it has 1.3 ohms and 0.03 millihenries. Okay, so now it's time to go ahead and make a test. I'm going to test it using my audio amplifier circuit, and let's test it with a regular speaker. So what I'm going to do right here is take my regular speaker, connect it to the audio amplifying circuit. There we go. And now I'm going to go ahead and plug this into my phone. I have my music set up right here. Now let's go ahead and have it here and see how a traditional manufactured speaker sounds like. That works like a success. Now let's go ahead and have it here by removing these alligator clips off from the speaker, because we made one. And now let's go ahead and test it out. Now let's see how this sounds. And let's have it hear how this sounds. So I'm going to go ahead. That actually sounds very nice. In my opinion, I kind of think that sounded much louder and a little bit clearer. Wow. So I made a better speaker than a manufactured one. How interesting. Let's have a closer look at it. Alright, so I'll go ahead and play it again. And there you have it. Now you know how to make a very simple speaker with using just a few pieces of paper, a magnet, and some wire. And there you have it. Thank you for watching SciTi Tech. I hope you learned something new, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and of course click on the bell icon to be notified for future SciTi Tech videos. Till the next tech, goodbye.